Tennessee Congressman Marsha Blackburn is with me. She is co-sponsoring a bill that would name members of Congress who've used taxpayer money for sexual misconduct hush funds. She's also running for the Senate seat that will be vacated by Senator Bob Corker. She joins me right now. Congressman, it's great to see you again. Thanks so much for joining us.
Sure.
Let's first talk about what's happening in terms of the issues on these misconduct. We've got Lisa Bloom, the attorney for accusers, this morning saying there are more accusers, saying that John Conyers acted inappropriately. What's your take on this situation?
My take on all of these situations, Maria, is that these are things that these members of Congress or their staffs need to settle, and they need to do this in a way that is not using taxpayer funds. And then it is going to be up to those members, their families, and their voters to decide when and how and if they resign. But the most important point for us is taxpayer dollars should not be used to settle these misconduct allegations and come to those through the Office of Compliance to those settlements. And this is what Representative DeSantis, and then you had Gabbard, Rice, and Cooper, who joined with us in doing a bill that says you cannot use taxpayer funds to pay for these sexual harassment settlements. And if you did, you need to pay these back with interest. And we need to bring some transparency and accountability to this fund and to the Office of Compliance.
Yeah, especially since the American people had no idea any of this was going on. What exactly is that fund for? I mean, is this all sexual harassment payouts, or is this payouts for other things as well, like asbestos and other issues that the American people were unaware of?
You're exactly right. The fund is used to pay many different types of settlements and claims. And it could be an American with Disabilities Act claim. It could be asbestos. It could be something dealing with Capitol Police or the architect of the Capitol. Our point is, when it comes to the hostile work environment and sexual harassment, that those claims should not be settled with taxpayer funds. That should be the responsibility of that individual. Because, Maria, we're talking about things that are happening within the work of your official duties as a member of Congress. But taxpayer dollars ought not to be used to settle those filings and complaints and those settlements.
So how much of the fund has been paid out for sexual misconduct?
We're not exactly sure, and I will tell you, Chairman Harper, who is chairman of the House Administration Committee, is really in behind this. He is doing a good job to get answers. We know that all total, since 1995, there have been 268 claims paid. We know the total is $17 million. How that breaks out with different types of complaints and settlements, we do not know. That's the information that we are hopeful to get. The chairman is working to get that for us, and working with him, you have those of us who are members who are trying to structure the manner in which this works, the way members are utilizing these funds, and to bring the accountability, transparency, and eliminate the hush fund that has been there, that has been utilized in some way, shape, and form.
I want to get to your Senate seat run in a second, but let me ask you this. Do you think that there is a double standard when it comes to Congress in this situation? Because obviously there were, accusations against Matt Lauer. He's been fired. Charlie Rose, he's been fired. These companies in the private sector took, no tolerance, right? Zero room for error here. And yet you've got Al Franken hanging around, you've got John Conyers hanging around, they still have their jobs. So is there a double standard here when it comes to Washington?
You would think, and it does appear, that there is a double standard that is here, and the utilization of taxpayer funds for a personal bailout to settle these settlements is something that is a taxpayer bailout. As one of my constituents said to me last night, this is not an issue of on your own time, on your own dime. This is an issue of on the people's time and on the people's dime.
Yeah, I think you make a lot of good points this morning. Let me ask you, Congressman, about your Senate seat bid. You are running for the seat which will be vacated by Bob Corker in 2018. Why the move? Why do you want to run for that seat? Why do you want to be in the Senate?
For me, running for the Senate is the opportunity to continue to work on those issues of faith, family, freedom, hope, and opportunity, and to bring accountability, legislative accountability and accomplishment to the U.S. Senate. I think everybody is frustrated with the U.S. Senate, and we all cheered when they passed their tax bill on Friday night. But Maria, we have to get things through the Senate and to the president's desk. The American people elected Donald Trump to work on issues of health care reform, tax reform, securing the southern border, and dealing with the nation's infrastructure. I am committed to those goals. I share those goals, and I am energized about this race. It is really going well.
Why were you shut out of Twitter just because you were talking about what you were trying to pursue in the Senate?
I was shut out because I used some pro-life language, and they considered it to be inflammatory. I was talking about a record of accomplishment that I have in chairing the Select Investigative Panel, where we shut down entities and moved forward with eliminating the sale of fetal body parts. And that is something that is not allowed. It is outside of federal statute. And Twitter considered that inflammatory. And I was so pleased that others in the social media universe stood with me.
Yes.
And it is a free speech issue.
Exactly. Do you feel that you were shut down because of your conservative thinking?
There is no doubt. They noted that if I removed the pro-life language, they would put it back up. And I said, no, I'm not going to remove the pro-life language because I am 100% pro-life.
Right.
So finally, they changed their mind, and they allowed the announcement to go back up.
Well, we just tweeted out that you're on the show. We'll be watching the developments. Obviously, big week for the Senate this week. We know
Yes,
Bob
it is.
Corker voted no on that tax plan, by the way. We'll be watching your efforts to claim that seat, Congressman. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Marsha Blackburn there. President Trump, another step closer to a big legislative victory with tax cuts. Coming up, former Reagan economic advisor Art Laffer will walk us through what's different in that Senate bill to hash out what the final bill might look like. We're looking ahead right now on Sunday Morning Futures. We'll be right back.
Black & Decker's new line of dustbusters. For whatever life throws at you. Black & Decker, the #1 brand in hand vacuums.
Sometimes a gift should be opened early, especially when it fits this good. Now at Men's Wearhouse. Suits on sale for $199. Take 60% off sweaters and outerwear, plus it's buy one, get one free on select items. You're gonna like the way he looks.
Hi, I'm Annette, and I'm an actress. Under eye bags and wrinkles are so frustrating. I came across PlexAdar, and I was so excited. We have a model, his name is Richie, and all he's doing is taking a small amount. It's so powerful, that's all it takes. And what I love about PlexAdar is you don't have to worry about the injections, the expensive plastic surgeons, because this is something that you can do in the convenience of your own home.
I was a little skeptical, I am not going to lie, because I saw people online with it, and I'm like, yeah, right, that can't possibly work. Honestly, it really works.
I did this to my father at home, one eye, so that we can compare. 4 minutes, 34 seconds. The appearance of his under eye bag completely gone. We were screaming. It was so exciting and amazing. You have an event, you have any of those moments where you want to feel the best about yourself. The videos that you see are real. Those are the results you can expect to see.
Visit plexaderm.com or call the number on your screen.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned.
Call or go online to order MyPillow Premium, and Mike will give you a second pillow absolutely free. Use the promo code on your screen to get 2 MyPillows for the price of 1. Don't delay. Order now.
With our 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Sleep well, America!
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
When it comes to investing, looking from a fresh perspective can make all the difference. It can provide what we call an unlock, a realization that often reveals a better path forward. At Wells Fargo, it's our expertise in finding this kind of insight that has led us to become one of the largest investment and wealth management firms in the country. Discover how we can help find your unlock.
Welcome back. Republican lawmakers hoping that they can iron out key differences between the House and Senate tax bills during conference beginning tomorrow night. Both chambers must agree on a unified tax bill before it can reach the president's desk for signage. Art Laffer is a former Reagan administration economic advisor. He joins me right now. Art, good to see you, sir. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to see you, Maria. Boy, what a good interview with Marsha Blackburn. Isn't she wonderful?
She was terrific just there, yes.
She's amazing. She'll be a great senator, let me tell you.
It looks like she's got the front row seat here. She's the front runner so far. All right, let's go through this tax plan in terms of the Senate and the House. What strikes you as most important? How will it be different than what actually lands on the president's desk, hopefully in the next couple of weeks?
Well, let me just tell you, there's one thing that bothers me a lot about it, Maria. Now, I love the bill, so don't get me wrong. I'm way, way plus on it. But the delay of the corporate tax rate reduction is a big, big, big mistake. It's the mistake we made in the 1981 tax bill, and it caused the Great Recession of 81-82. If you know they're going to cut taxes next year, you're going to defer all the income you can, all the sheltering. You're going to keep it all. You're going to not change your corporate headquarters. None of that stuff will happen until the actual tax rate drops from 35 to 20%.
Yeah,
so that's the one thing that worries me.
I totally agree. I mean, why would business managers make long-term investing plans? You're not going to make an investing plan for 5 years knowing that you're not going to get a 20% rate for a little while. So do you think that changes by the time? I mean, the House has it right away in 2018 at 20%.
Well, I hope the House wins on this one. I really do. And if my advice means anything, I think these people should be very worried, because we can ill afford a bad economy in 2018. We had a terrible economy in 81-82, and we lost seats in the House and the Senate. And, you know, it wasn't until January 1st, 1983, our tax cuts took effect. Then we got the boom of the century, and we won the presidency. But we had a very bad election in 1982, and I would hate to see the Republicans have that same thing happen in the next election in 18. Well, because, frankly, we should pick up a lot of seats in the Senate.
If the House loses the majority in 2018, Nancy Pelosi becomes the new Speaker of the House, and you know what the first order of business is going to be, Art.
Yes, I do.
Impeach Donald Trump.
I think that might be the case, and I mean, we've had enough of this type of politics. I was in the Nixon White House in 70 to 72, and I remember all the changes, all the stuff that occurs. You know, when you're under impeachment, when you're under threat, it doesn't make for a good government.
Constant investigations. How do you get anything done with constant investigations?
No, you don't.
In the executive office. Let me ask you this.
Same thing was true of Bill Clinton, by the way. It was really wrong of them to do the impeachment of Bill Clinton as well. They shouldn't have done that, and it's too bad.
So in addition to the 20% sort of delay here in getting to 20%,
yes,
is there anything else that you think will change in this as the final bill? For example, they don't entirely repeal the AMT in the Senate version, which is something I just spoke with Senator Perdue about.
No, they don't repeal the AMT, and I would like them to repeal the AMT. I'm not as upset about the AMT as I am about if they got rid of it. Now, the Senate did something really great with the mandate. They got rid of the mandate. Now, that was really, really good, and I hope the House accepts that portion of the Senate bill. So,
but how do you pay for all of this, Art? That's what the skeptics are saying. $1 trillion added into the debt. I mean, if you don't do these things, if you don't delay the 20%, how do you come up with the pay-fors?
Let me just tell you, this is the biggest red herring I have ever seen in my life. Either one of those tax bills will pay for itself many times over. What you're you're worried about here and what all these other people talk about is this phony accounting system done by the Congressional Budget Office and by the Joint Tax Committee, and I am unwilling to let any of that determine my thoughts on this. This will raise revenues dramatically because we'll get higher growth. When we've ever had surpluses, it's under Kennedy Go-Go's 60s. It's under Bill Clinton's phenomenal administration. We had the worst times under 74, under Johnson, Nixon, Ford, and Carter, and under Obama W. This is going to raise revenues a lot, just the way it did with Reagan.
By the way, I've got a J.P. Morgan report right in front of me saying they're telling clients earnings are going to be up 8 to 9% on top of a strong earnings period we've ever seen.
There you go.
As a result of this tax plan. And that's
what
for
about
2018.
The 401ks?
Well,
I mean,
that's why this market is up $6 trillion.
It's terrific, isn't it? I mean, this is what we've all been dreaming of, Maria. So let's not let them spoil it now. Tell them don't do it. Please, you're the voice of reason.
Art, good to see you, sir. Thank you so much.
Great to see you, Maria.
Art
Thank
Laffer
you.
there. We've got our panel on deck right next as we look ahead on Sunday.